to the lower Gauley. This is a super fun run out in West Virginia. It runs during Gauley season, but also with enough rain year-round. Gauley season is the fall. Super busy this year and wasn't able to get up and run the upper, but popped out real quick to get the lower because it's always super fun. This ride in, you will have noticed, is pretty bumpy, so make sure you're not bringing a low-to-the-ground sedan. You probably are going to want a decent little ground clearance to get to the put-in here. And when you do, you will be rewarded with big, tall waves, tons of great Class 3 fun with the occasional tougher move, which we'll talk about. I should have brought my Dagger Rewind this time, but I thought there was a chance that I could paddle the upper this day. And so I brought my creek boat just to be safe. And I was regretting that a little bit by the end of the day, but still, this water is primo, super fun to paddle. I'll give you a sense of what it looks like, and you can always reference my video from last year when this was a much more intimidating run for me. Those are really just some warm-up rapids. Most people consider the start of the lower Gauley to be at Kuntz Flume, which is coming up after Backender, which is just another big bouncy wave train with lots of fun opportunities to get backendered if you're not leaning forward. So the first time I ran the lower Gauley, it was some of the bigger water that I had ever paddled, and being aware of some of the undercuts and hazards on the river combined with the power and speed of the water was kind of intimidating. But very shortly into that run, I started hooting and hollering, having a great time, feeling pretty secure. And I think a lot of that had to do with training at the Whitewater Center, also running comp channel, getting used to strong eddy lines, that kind of thing. And this year I've been paddling pretty consistently. And I think I've progressed a little bit in my skill set. I was really hoping, like I said, to run the upper, but this run on the lower was really fun because I felt pretty confident. I was playful, not worried about flipping over, did not feel intimidated or like I couldn't tackle any of what I was up to. Still managed to make some mistakes as always, but I'm going for more dry bow paddling here. I'm trying to practice positioning myself in such a way that I can get my feet up and over stuff and paddle a little more stylishly. So let me know. I think there is marginal success in that department here. Now, I know this footage isn't necessarily the most exciting, but as always, my intention is to leave you with a clear sense of what the run is like. There is a lot of this just kind of bouncy, riffly, Class 2 plus stuff in the lead up to some of those bigger drop pool rapids that they have on this river. One piece of dry bow paddling that you'll see me do is where I pull a big stroke on one side and use it to lift my bow up and onto a wave or foam pile as a way to get over it. I'm going to do it 3, 2, 1 right here. So what I did there was I approached the wave at a bit of an angle, probably like 3 o'clock. And then as I got closer, I leaned to my right. I pulled a right sweep stroke and then leaned back to my left to lift my bow and basically put my feet right on top of that wave perpendicularly. This is possible in creek boats. It's easier in lower volume stern boats, but the basic idea is to get your bow up and over a wave or a foam pile, that kind of thing. And the reason that you're approaching at a bit of an angle is so that you can lean and get your lift so that when you're teed up to the wave, your bow is nice and high. I think that one's more fun to just run straight down the middle, but like you see, if you stick to the right, you can kind of skip the big hole at the end. All right, this is my redemption line. Last year, I totally screwed this up at Kuntz Flume. I ended up right of that first rock that I go left of, bounced around, got backwards. Go check out the video. It's from this time last year, but I laced it this time. Super fun line. This is the rock that tripped me up last time. Now that was more of the right-hand line, which sometimes, your first time down, you might not want to take because you're hugging that big undercut rock on the right of the rapid. So you can take a more chill line and stay further left and then just cut right of 5 Boat Hole, which is a hole you can't miss. It's like 20 feet wide and it'll definitely grab you, but if you flip over, you'll flush right out. So we're going to go play in that hole now.
That was so stupid.
As you can see, I'm having a lot of trouble getting this code to actually surf there. What I need to do is actually lean into the wave more and kind of ferry out because the good surfing is kind of on surfer's left. But I just keep getting eaten in this deep part on surfer's right. I think I could have turned it around right here just by putting my nose back upstream and taking a few strokes, but I fail. This is a reminder to set your own line. If the person in front of you deviates at all, you're still meant to be on your original line. And the other piece is that boat spacing is really important. If you get too close to someone and they get hung up on something, you don't want to be running into them, etc.
Sorry about that, Bruce.
This is the ender spot on river right of Junkyard if you want to try it out. I failed miserably.
Sick.
Okay, there's a lot of flat water kind of between Junkyard. You go under the bridge. There's a lot of class 2+ stuff. And then it picks up a little bit for this stretch, which just requires a little bit of navigating. Nothing serious here. And after this bit, you know you're coming up to one of the best spots, Upper Mash and Lower Mash. Upper Mash has this crazy mushroom booth, which is like a big round rock with 3 or 4 inches of water going over it. And if you hit it just right, you just go flying. It's really fun. It's kind of on river left. And then after that, you have Lower Mash, which has a really fun big wave train in it. So get ready. Look at that thing. As you can see, there is a rock right after that booth, so make a choice if you're going to go left or right around it. Given that this rapid has a lot of rocks and stuff in it, and it's also pretty wide, there are a lot of eddies that you can take a pause in if you get tangled up or if you want to see where your group is. And once you eddy out and collect yourself, then all you're going to do is ferry from river right over to river left, because that's where the chute with the good wave train for Lower Mash is. So good to break up these rapids into upper and lower. And this is the ferry I was just talking about to get from river right to river left for Lower Mash.
Go ahead, Allie.
I'm not doing great dry bow paddling right here, but one thing I want to call out, because this landscape is so good for it, is look for humps in green water. Usually that means that there's a hole behind it. Diagonal Ledges has a ton of great surfing. At the top of it, there's this big wave that kind of blinds me, and as my eyes clear, I see a man in black standing in the middle of the river. No helmet, no kayak. I come to realize he's surfing. So the end of the run is pretty chill. There isn't a ton through here, mostly read and run class 3, which is as difficult as you make it. You can always make things tricky if you want to. Other than that, it's really good practice for your read and run skills, which are crucial. Try not to go sideways over drops.
Yeah, you know, I had to style it. Yeah.
So my buddy Graham ahead of me was just telling me, be careful, this might be read and run, but the right shape or steepness of hole, even if it looks like a small one, will still definitely grab you. So as you're making your way down river, even if it's a pretty chill rapid, you want to keep your wits about you, because if a hole is the right shape or steep enough and you're just toddling along, it can definitely hold on to you and screw up your day. So just a reminder, never to let your guard down. I don't know why I always have to do one rapid backwards, but I mess up my read and run here. And exactly like happened last year on Coons Flume, I knock a rock with my bow, get turned around backwards, and you'll see what happens. The smart thing to do would be to do a bow draw and bring my stern to the right and avoid it completely.
Gotta do it at least one time.
What a mess, dude. Up next is Pure Screaming Hell, which has a couple tricky holes that are offset at the top of it, so we're going to avoid those. And then we're going to make our way left of the big hole, just trying to grease it, not even get delayed by hell hole at the bottom there. Last year, you can check out my last video, I went right straight into the meat of it, lost my speed in a guard hole and just got wrecked. So that's a lesson learned. Make sure to check out that video. The trick here in avoiding the hole at the bottom is not to go left too early because there's a very sticky hole. Once you see it pass by, then you cut left. This is why you don't go left too early. As I pass by it, you can see how long that hole is. Definitely will hold on to you. Bank nice and dry over the left-hand shoulder of that hole.
I tried for clean, and I think that's pretty clean.
After Pure Screaming Hell, there isn't a ton left. Some more bouncy wave trains, some, maybe class 3 rapids here and there. A lot of paddling until you come to the takeout, which is going to be on River Right. And another reminder to have the proper vehicle because getting to and from the put-in and the takeout both require a little bit of muscle in terms of having four-wheel drive or at least a little ground clearance. But again, reminder, hit the lower Gauley in the fall. It's awesome. Hope to see you on the river.
It's really good at approaching a drop, accelerating in like 6 or 8 strokes, doing what you want it to do for the most part, boofing, skipping out.